Good morning. It is Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. Thank you for stopping by today. And I'm listening to all of these social media pundits talking about women, and most of what they're saying about women is true. And nobody's lying on women in terms of their quality being diminished as compared to previous generations of women, and everybody's full of all kind of explanations on why modern women behave the way they do. Some people want to try to connect it to slavery, and if there's a real connection to slavery, I mean, I'm seeing the white culture having the same impact in terms of outcomes as compared to black households. And nobody's taking into consideration that, so many years ago, 85% of marriages back in, I think it was the 30s and 40s, black households were like 85% man, woman, and kids. And then all of a sudden things just fell off, and now we're looking at these statistics and we're seeing, white people losing out. East Asians, like the Indians from India, they're number one. And then you have the Chinese Asians, number two in terms of making the most money in terms of family household earnings. And for a time, white people were the gold standard of comparative analyses for being the highest money-making people here in America. So this white supremacy, white dominating the landscape of society is just a straight falsehood. And I'm just really wondering when black people are going to wake up and realize that your success is built on the choices you make. You want to be successful, you got to make successful choices. It's just that simple. You want to be goofy, make goofy choices and you will win goofy prizes. So I'm just at a point where, can we stop avoiding the very obvious? And the very obvious is the people who everybody espouses as being the best YouTubers on YouTube in terms of analyzing everything are really just anti-prophets. Because tell me something that's really good that's going to happen in the next 10 years. Everybody that is very popular is either talking crap about women, putting women down, instead of really actually looking at the real situation and seeing it for what it is, and giving people real tools that will enable them to be successful. And if they're not able to be successful, it's not because of racism. It's not because of I just felt like these people just hate me and they don't want me around. If they hate you and they don't want you around, then you're not going to be around them. They're going to make sure that you're not around. And so many things that we've done in developing our children in schools have really crippled them from really having a good understanding. It's kind of like, I was watching a video where these people were literally just laying out statistics on women's misbehavior. And these purple-haired, green-haired women got out of their seats and making all kind of noise to make sure that they got the camera's attention. And before they walked out, as if that wasn't enough, they started yelling these epithets of saying, you chauvinist, you, this is patriarchy we're talking. I'm like, if you're really protesting something, just get up and walk out and let your protesting exit say everything. Because sometimes your silence will say more than you opening your mouth to say whatever you're trying to say. Because all you're doing is you're like a spoiled child looking for attention. But getting back to the point of this video, women want to have careers. They want to be regarded as valuable. They want all these things, and then ultimately they want to marry a man that they admire. They want to admire, and they want a man that they can admire because he's strong, because he makes a lot of money, and he's somebody that other women would be in admiration of when they go out together and they happen to go, if they go to, say, a gathering of couples, they want to have the guy that everybody is just enamored by. Well, the obvious is this. If this is what you want, you can't do all of these things that you think are going to make you a confident and strong woman. You've got to orient yourself to line up with what he wants. And if you never took the time to date a man or to ask a man that you admired, what is he looking for in a woman, I'll tell you. I'm writing a book, and I'm going to get the book out. But if you guys keep watching my channel, you'll find it. I'll tell you somewhere along the line, and be publishing videos on YouTube, and I'm going to start trying to get them on TikTok. You'll find out exactly what men means, men that are handsome, men that make a lot of money, what they're looking for in a woman. And I would say, one of the things that I would want as a man is a woman that is educated. But educated, that's a loaded word. Educated doesn't necessarily mean with a college degree. Educated means that she's smart, and she demonstrates her intelligence by the choices that she's making. Like Patrice O'Neal, he said that modern women today got it all backwards. They go to university, get an education, and do all of these goofy things in terms of getting a degree and a PhD when their vaginas are at its highest value. And then all of a sudden they want to settle down and get married when their vagina is at its lowest value. But here it is, men want to marry women when they're young and hot. But, the women that are at university, when they're young and hot, they're squandering their vaginas on frat parties, getting drunk, and playing the field. When he suggested, and I thought this was a very intelligent and reasonable suggestion, why not get married, have your children, and then when the children get to be like 10, like say you get married at 19, kids at 10, youngest might be 9 or 8 if you have 3. So now you're at 27 years age, 28 years of age, and now you can, or 29 years of age, and now you want to be educated because, it's all about having this confidence that you were able to get an education, get accomplished, and then go into a career. You're still young enough to go into a career. But we all know deep down inside what the real issue is. And if you don't know, just think about why young women really want to go to college. Honestly, why do they really want to go to college? They don't want to go to college for the educational experience. They want to go to the college for the college experience. So what I'm getting at is the obvious is ultimately women want to get married. Most women want to get married, and it's a good thing to want to endeavor to do. But statistics are actually showing that women are not really fit for marriage because they squeeze the trigger and file for divorce. Just when things get tough and challenging, their expectations of marriage are so lofty and so unattainable that they call it quits before marriage has an actual chance to work and for the actual payoff that everybody has actually spoken about in marriage has an opportunity to manifest. And so that's the obvious, but nobody's actually saying that. Marriage is a wonderful institution if you're prepared to enter it with reasonable expectations, but nobody's actually saying what to expect when you get into marriage. And that's what I'm writing this book about. And I got my own take on it. Not going to put too many details in it on these videos because I don't want anybody stealing my thunder. But let's just say I want to put it out there to stimulate conversation as to why are women such miserable failures in marriage? Miserable failures in marriage. You guys are failures. You're losers. Why do you guys fail in marriage? But you guys are very good at the dating scene. You're very good at being concubines. You're very good at being single mothers. You're very good at trapping men with a baby and getting these great, phenomenal financial payoffs. And there's a reason why society allows these things to happen. If anybody can tell me why these things happen, why society promotes single motherhood by allowing women to get entertainers like basketball players, athletes, football players, men of great means. In Canada, there was a guy, he wasn't even an athlete, but he had dated this girl and got her pregnant and everything. In fact, no, he didn't even get her pregnant, but he was giving her gifts and she started living this lifestyle and she ended up suing him for support. And she got it. But there's a reason behind governments, the courts, allowing these things to transpire. And if somebody can tell me why and tell me really honestly why they do it, I'll give them a $100 gift card. But you have to be the first one to give me the correct answer. A $100 gift card to whatever you want. You want a T-Mobile gift card, you want a Best Buy gift card, you want the money Zelled into your bank account. Give me the answer to this question. The first person that gives me the answer to this question gets a $100 gift card, courtesy of Gerald Bailey. Talk to you guys soon. That's the obvious. That's the obvious. The obvious is that women today are just miserable at marriage. They're not good at it, but it's not because they're not capable. They're definitely capable of doing it. I think marriage is the elite estate of relationships. It's not for the average person. And it's almost like the way people look at Harvard, and some of these Ivy League schools. Even Great Britain has, I think, two of the best universities in the world, some of the oldest universities in the world in Western society. There are even older universities in Africa, which should give you guys an idea that, a lot of these things that we've been educated about in terms of Western society being the pinnacle. Yes, Western society is the pinnacle of technological advancement and things like that, but they're not the oldest. And a lot of the things that have been built by the West would not have been possible without some of the benefits from the East. I mean, gunpowder was in China. They did fireworks, they did a lot of things with it, but it was the white man that turned it into a weapon. So we just need to appreciate all of the contributions society has received from various inputs from other societies and other cultures and be blessed for that. But I just keep saying, you guys want a real challenge, you want to do something that very few people in modern Western culture have succeeded in doing, and succeeded to the degree where in the end, when they actually got to be over 65 years old or 60, they look back and say, yes, it was all worth it. Most people are still trying to figure things out, and many of them are disappointed, they're frustrated, and they're regretting some of the decisions they made. Many women today are regretting that they even went to university because they're saddled with such debt that they can't get out of debt. But the obvious is, if women were so much better than the previous women that didn't have education, that didn't have PhDs, why are you guys such miserable failures in relationships? Why are you failing in relationships? Explain that to me. But I've given you guys another question for the $100 gift card. Why do the courts put women in these positions to get so much money from the men? And now we're starting to see some successful women getting caught in that trick bag as well. But it's not the same result. It's not the same result. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video. Talk to you guys soon.